on.
No problem.
You got a half hour. How you doing?
I'm doing well, very well. Everything is fine in these times for me. I'm wealthier than I have ever been before. The magic that I've done years ago manifests today.
You look healthy.
Yeah, I am.
That's good. Yeah, yeah. Just I mean, your skin. You actually you've got some body weight on you that looks good. Looks like you actually are eating properly and that you're getting sleep. Like so, what that comes down to, dude. Congratulations on the sobriety, because I imagine just looking at you that you've had an extended period of sobriety, huh?
Yes, and I stopped products, but I'm working hard with the Temple of Ascending Flame that I'm part from since many years. I never told you, but yeah, we working on the 72 Goetic spirits, and right now I'm working with Valfor.
Mhm.
Valfor. At beginning, he's tricky, but then he learns you wise things. And I think it's a lot like that for many demons. At the beginning, they test you, they try what are your limits, and then come the wisdom beyond the trickery.
Yeah, there is an initial illusion that all of these demons seem to cast of a dragon or a monster or something that's this fierce. And then as you get to know them, they gradually become more and more honestly like a goddess. They develop a more loving type of nature to them, a more caring nature. But at first, it can start out that these demons first, like I said, seem like demons or monsters. But then when we start to get to know them, then they almost become like drill sergeants or teachers where they're telling you what you need to do. But like for me, Azazel's been the one that I consider to be my patron, and it is just like a good friend, and it's in a way it's almost like a part of myself that's not really myself. It is a very similar thing to feeling like you have a soulmate, you know? It's like a
Mhm.
soulmate in the demon world. So yeah, it is interesting. And all of these things, so I'll tell you what, it's interesting because all of these things, I think that these are also, we are externalizing our own relationship with ourselves.
Yeah,
That when we first meet them, they're putting up a mirror and going, "Don't you?" Because here's what I've experienced. The demons have made me face all of my self-hatred, all of the things I hate about myself, all of the things that make me think I'm worthless, and to look at it and just be okay with it. It's like, dude, that's part of yourself. You're not gonna get rid of it, whatever. Just to accept myself, and and that can be really hard because I do think that first face of the monster that the demons appear as, it's just them holding up a mirror so we can see the part of ourselves that we don't normally see.
yeah, that's the worst thing we can see ourselves.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And that's I've had people ask me if I'm afraid of if I ever get afraid of the demons, if I'm calling a demon and it makes me afraid for my safety or my life, and it's like, maybe at first, but at this point, I have come to learn that I'm the most dangerous thing in my life. Like I'm the one that's caused me the most problems. Demons are actually it's so crazy because demons are the ones trying to help me do better, trying to make me be a better person, trying to make me be a better father. I even had Paimon come to me a few years ago and told me I had to make sure I was paying taxes. I was like, what? And he's like, make sure you pay your taxes. They're gonna screw you if you don't pay your taxes. And I'm like, sure, okay. Sure enough, I start paying my dude. Yeah, whatever. They make you put yourself together in a much more ordered way than you could before. And they are specifically like I don't know. It's like I feel like those of us that are kind of lost and maybe a little broken find these demons as being our allies. Whereas people who have a perfect life, they have perfect childhood, they never have any problems. they don't really have any interest in the demons. They don't.
No,
So yeah, I don't
like
know.
you
I don't know what's behind that, but yeah.
like you said in one of your old videos, we don't come to magic by by like a mistake. We have a goal. We suffered in life, and we didn't find the help needed with doctors. I don't know, with professionals. And for me, first I find E.A Koetting on YouTube, and I said, "This is my doctor."
Yeah. Well, and yeah, that is an interesting thing, and also, yeah, it is that when you're looking at God or gods or divinity of any sort, we're, we have a very similar relationship to the gods that we have to any authority. And so that means mom and dad, the police, judges, lawyers, the authority figures in our society, even doctors fall into those authority figures. And if we've been let down by those authorities, starting at home, if we've been let down by our parents and then let down by our teachers and then, let down, or even worse than let down, abused by them, then it does make it really difficult to connect with God through the right hand path. At that point, we have to go to the more chaos. We've got to go to the rebels and go hang out with the rebels. So it is there's an interesting thing that's happening there with the way that we're doing all of this.
Yeah. So I have a series of questions
Awesome.
that I'd like to ask you. So first question, can you talk to me about Social Magic, the new book which shall be released by Become a Living God?
Yeah, dude, I wish I had it. Where is it? I thought I had it right here. I must have taken it in the other room. But yeah, it is going to be out next month. So social magic. Social engineering magic is a politically correct term we can use because what I wanted to call it was influence, persuasion, and manipulation. But Timothy says, "Ooh, that's a little risky. We want to make it more friendly to the authorities. We got to appease to the freaking authorities all the time." So it's like, okay, cool. But it is a spell book all about persuasion, influence, manipulation, and control. And so what it comes down to is really being able to implant your thoughts, your feelings, your suggestions into other people's minds, into their hearts, even into their bodies, so they start reacting in a different way to you. I give a whole a candle magic course like I've never done before. This is really awesome because I teach you how to um, consecrate each spell candle of each color, how to use them all, how to use different spell candles. If you want to use a jar candle, how to do that rather versus a regular taper candle, how to make your own magic candles. So I got a whole chapter on spell candles that is just awesome. And then I go into sympathetic magic, how to use poppets, how to make a sweet jar and a sour jar. And then I give you my Sorath operation, give you some talismans that you can use and some visualizations. Just try to give you everything I can. Martin and Andrea also come at it with just everything that they've got. But the whole idea is just give you a whole ton of spells that you can use to influence people. I see there's like three levels here. The first level is influencing other people. And that's going to be that's going to be really valuable. In fact, most people are going to go get this book just for that because they want to influence other people. And that's good. You want to get a job, influence your manager or influence
Yeah.
somebody to quit or whatever. You want to you need to you need a lover, you influence that. There's a million different types of influence that you can do to get the things that you want in your life. But then the second stage is influencing your world beyond just people, influencing, like speaking to the matrix of the world itself and just saying, I am implanting your thoughts and suggestions into the source code. And then the third step is to influence yourself. To make these changes, to cast spells on yourself to get you to think and behave in the way that you want to think and behave. So that's really what this is aimed at. I'm excited. This will be out February 25th. I'm super excited for everyone to get it.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when I was to give you a little background, when I was when I was 14 or 15 years old. I was hanging out with this girl. I really liked her. I had a crush on her. I was just her friend. I was in the friend zone. But I was hanging out at her house, and her little sister comes in, and she had just moved into town, and she found out that I'm interested in witchcraft, and she goes, you know, I found a book of spells once. I was like, what? She goes, yeah, up in my grandpa's attic, there was a book of spells. And she goes, I read through it, and it was spells on how to cast curses on your enemies, how to make people fall in love with you, how to implant thoughts into other people's minds. And I was like, that's awesome. Where's this book? And she's like, oh, I burned it. And I was like, why would you do that? She's like, oh, because it's evil. It was an evil book. And but that stuck in my mind of like, there's got to be spell books out there, and there's not that many. Like honestly, when you actually go looking around the world, there aren't too many spell books that actually show you just spell after spell after spell. So that's what I wanted to create. And I think this spell book in particular just blows it away because it is exactly that.
And what is curious, no, not curious, but is obvious, it's when you started Become a Living God, a lot of writer, of beginner, started to write a book on magic to do like you did. And now we have a bunch of books everywhere about magic, about Lucifer, Satan.
So right there, what you just said, that's actually one of the biggest rewards for me emotionally for doing what I do. It's not even that people buy my books, but then people read my books or watch my videos, and then they go, wait a minute, I got something too. I got some that everybody around the world has something that they can add to the conversation. They're like, wait a minute, I had my experience with King Paimon, and here's what I did differently. And it's like, dude, that is beautiful because it is what we see with magic, and I'm not saying I'm well, okay. What we see with magic is an exponential explosion of knowledge and connectedness. We're seeing magic and just explode. And it's not just our knowledge of magic. As we all know about it and use it more, magic itself becomes more powerful. And so as we're all doing this together, it is exactly that one person does one thing, other people see it, and then they start doing the same thing. It becomes viral. We've got a viral magical thing going on. Now, here's the thing though. I didn't create that. I'm just part of it. What I see is that there is a wave, and we're all just surfers on this on surfboards on top of this wave. There have been points in my life where my ego has gotten to me, and I thought like, oh, I created this, and I'm the master of all this, and everybody does what I tell them. No, that's not the truth. I'm just another black magician riding my surfboard on this wave, trying to not fall down. And I think that that's what's important for us to know is like, hey, we're all experiencing this together. Like this is a mutual effort. Mhm. And you know, and that is one of the important things. I'll just say that is one of the important things I've always tried to do in the way that I present what I present. I'm never, I always try to make sure that I'm not putting myself up as the prophet or the mouthpiece of Azazel. Don't listen to me. Look what I'm doing and find your own way of doing it. Don't trust what I say, Azazel said. Call Azazel and ask him yourself. And that's always what I want to try to do is not because I see the opposite in a lot of people that are in this field. A lot of people in this field talk about how they're the ones with the power and you've got to come to them. But it's like, no, if you had real power, you would share it with everybody because that's what if you have pure infinite power, there's plenty to share with everybody. If you have weak power, then you're guarding it and you're afraid to share
Yeah, for sure.
it. Yeah.
And
What else is
that brings me to another question that I didn't written, that I haven't written, but why you think so many magicians in the beginning, especially, are are think they are Satan or Lucifer? I mean, they work in a fast food joint and they said to the customer, "Hey, I'm Satan, I'm Lucifer," and they are sure about it, and they could kill themselves to prove that they are Satan or Lucifer. And myself, I thought I was Lucifer at one time, and but I think this is the regular process many magicians, and now my ego got down, and I'm Geoffrey Bueno, I'm Enocious T.N. Baltar. I'm okay
Wow.
with that.
That's on that's a great question. So, because I'll have that, I'll get on consultations all the time where I get on the consultation, the video pops up, and the other person is like, "I am Satan, the Lord of Darkness, and you will bow before me." And I'm like, dude, take a number and get in line because you're the third guy I've talked to this week that says the same thing. Like, there's so many people out there that are having this experience, and so it's like, here a couple things. One thing is some people are unstable and they're looking for significance. They're trying to find out where their place in this world is, but they're seriously cracked in the head and they probably shouldn't do magic. Magic is probably not going to be a healthy thing for them. Um, and if I talk to somebody like that in a consultation, I get that feeling, I will tell them that. I'll say, look, I think you need to not do anything with magic. I think it's going to be, disastrous for you. You need to go get with a doctor and get some help. Because there are people who think that they are Satan that are doing that. However, here's where it gets tricky because then there are real times. So every I did the gatekeeper operation. So 3 years working with one gatekeeper for 90 days each. And in each of those, I became them. It started out that I was working with them, evoking them, learning from them, but day after day, that I would get possessed to the point that I was Azazel. I was a Maimon. Um, and I think that was a very valid experience. I think that they actually did do that. And one of the things, it's interesting because what was happening there over 3 years, I was taking these different masks on and putting them on myself and becoming these different entities, and then taking that mask off and putting another on. After the 3 years was over, I didn't have any masks on. And I had a bit of a breakdown because I had to figure out who I was without any mask. And that was part of the thing. I think that if somebody's having an authentic demonic experience of being possessed by these spirits, or even saying like I am Satan or I am Lucifer, they might actually be channeling that spirit. Satan or Lucifer might be in them, rearranging everything for them, and they might be in the midst of it. But here's where it gets wonky with me. When they start demanding that you call them Satan, like don't call me Bob, my name is Satan. It's like, come on, Bob. Like, let's bring it back to earth because there is that difference there, and we do have to ground ourselves at some point, and that's the nature of it. Because when I did that, when I've gotten to the point of losing my identity, those are the points I'm the most useless in my life. And like you do have to ground yourself so that way you can pay the bills, take out the trash, do the dishes, wash your clothes, brush your teeth, keep a normal life going. And so there is a grounding that you need to make sure you're doing all the time.
Oh yeah, I know that because I was sure I was Lucifer, and Lilith was my girlfriend, and we live with them, with demons, and in hell, in heaven, whatever. And
Yeah.
then comes the time you realize maybe I was totally possessed, and
Yeah.
it's hard
Yeah, I
to
think there's
remember who we really are, for sure, for each magician. But it's not good, I think, to keep in the trap to think we are the lord of the multiverse. No.
yeah. Well, it's a really so I think it was either Beelzebub or Abaddon. I can't remember which one. I think it was Beelzebub came to me and um said you are the chosen one. You're going to do things that no other human can do. You are the chosen one. You have a special calling, you have special powers, but don't think about any of that. It's don't think about any of that. Just try to enjoy your life. And I was like, what the fuck? How am I supposed to just enjoy my life with this like thing? Why would you tell me that and then tell me not to think about it? Like but there is that line that we do have to walk of like I am everything, but then balancing that. along with being a human in a body. And it is difficult. That's why we walk a difficult path, to be honest. Psychologically, it's a lot easier to just go to church on Sundays, and then the rest of the week you get to just do your thing, and you just believe that you're going to be okay. That would be so much easier than pushing our brains beyond limitations and then trying to live a life. It is difficult for sure.
Mm-mm.
We have chosen the difficult path in this life. And I have seen that. And I'll tell you what, I've had many opportunities where Satan specifically has come to me and said, "Look, do you want to keep going? Like you can go get a job, just going doing whatever. You can disappear if you want to disappear. You don't have to keep doing this." And I'm like, "Well, but I want to. This is what I know. I actually do have to keep doing this because I don't know what else I could do with my life. This is what I'm here to do with my life." So, but it is interesting. Satan specifically will give us that exit route because we need to be here of our own free will. We can't ever feel like just because we signed our names in blood on a piece of paper that we're bound. We have to always be doing what we're doing by our own free will.
Yeah, for sure. So another kind of question. Is
Yeah.
it important for Megas to get in the wilderness often? What does it bring?
Yeah, it is. It is important. Okay, so here's as we observe things, we change the things we observe. So if you go into the middle of a city and try to do a ritual in the middle of a city, which I'll do sometimes, go to a park or even just in the middle of the city, it doesn't matter. Do a ritual in the middle of the city. You have a ton of people that are coming by, looking at you doing that ritual, thinking you're a weirdo. Look at that crazy guy. Look at that devil worshiper, making all kinds of assumptions, pushing their observation into your reality. Now, even if you're not doing a ritual, they're still doing this. People are driving their cars all over this city, and they're all observing this as just being a city of stone and concrete. They're not observing spirits. They're not observing the supernatural. Now, something really beautiful happens when you get into places that other humans aren't observing. If you happen to ever find a spot that no other humans have ever seen and you stand in that spot, you will be in one of the most magical spots you've ever been in because no other human has polluted it with their disbelief. And so if you can step into that spot with pure, not even pure belief, pure lack of anything, like the same belief. This is what we need to have. We need to have the same belief in magic as the coyotes and the foxes and the wolves have, because they're using the exact same thing. They just understand it as instinct and as they're understanding it in their body. They don't have to think about it. And so in a similar way, yeah, we can definitely do the same thing. So it is important, yeah, for the Magus to get to places where other people just haven't observed. And it can be with this, there's something interesting there. It can be nature. Nature's the best, but also you can go into abandoned. I like to go to abandoned buildings and abandoned. It's dangerous, whatever. So be careful if you're ever doing this. But go to abandoned buildings or go to abandoned construction sites, places that people used to be but haven't been for a very long time, and you can feel spirits start to gather there, and it's almost like when some human comes along just talking blah, 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 talking about our stupid stuff and thinking about our stupid thoughts, that those spirits just scatter. But if you leave them alone for long enough, it just starts to thicken and thicken and thicken. And so, yeah, getting to a place where other people have not been is very, very important. That's where the magic is really at. Yeah. And then in nature, just to sit in nature, I'll even say, because a lot of times I'll get this feeling of like, I need to go get into the wilderness. I need to get into nature and do something magical. And I'll get there. I'll go drive up. I'll go drive up to the mountains and I'll go walk out in the nature. And then I'll be like, well, I don't know what I should do. Like, I don't know yeah, what should I do out here? And I don't know. And so with that, what I found is don't try to force anything magical to happen. Just go into nature and go sit next to a river if you can find a river. Go sit next to a river or go sit on a rock somewhere and just sit there. Don't try to force it to be a magical experience. Actually, just sit there and just let go. Just let go. And at some point, you're going to notice that you're not thinking about anything. You're listening to the birds and listening to the river, and you're and this is the beautiful place that you can get into nature is getting outside of your thoughts and into your body and into the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you satisfied by the release of the grimoire of Daniel Ramos, Dragus, and his video course?
Am I satisfied with it? It's a good introduction to the topic. I will say that.
I mean,
I think
satisfied. I mean, did it work or?
it worked it worked really well. But here, okay, so well here's the good and the bad. The good is that nobody's ever written about Kimbanda before, not in any way that you can actually break it apart and understand how to use it. And so he brought us that. I think he needs to go a lot deeper though. Because there were a lot of stuff where I'm like, well, wait a minute, let's talk more about possession. He's like, that's for the next book. And I'm like, well, let's talk more about this and that. That's for the next book. And I'm like, well, dude, start writing that next book then. That should have been in this book. I think if you've got information, give it up, like deliver it, don't hold back. And so that was my thing. But with that, I also understand this is part of the problem of these initiatic systems. That when you become initiated, he can't just say what he wants to say. He has to go to his uncles and ask them if it's okay if he talks about these things. And it's like, I don't like that. I don't care what my uncle says. I'm going to tell him to talk about whatever I want to talk about. So that is, my hat's off and big gratitude to Daniel Ramos for sure for being daring enough to put out the information he did put out. I do hope he goes even further with it. So and even more than that, I do hope that it stimulates other people to stop being afraid of revealing your secrets and just throw your magical secrets into the world and it's a good thing.
Yeah, because I saw crazy videos a few months ago about his practices, and it has all been gone. They stopped diffusing his videos, and I was a little sad because his videos went really trash. I mean, killing animals every day, sacrificing
Oh yeah.
turkeys, and the social media he was stopped everything, and
Oh wow.
so
So I didn't know that. Wait, so did they take away like his Instagram and stuff or did
yes,
he just stop?
yes.
Oh wow.
And I was
Wow.
just after the you released the book.
Oh no. Oh wow. Oh, so wait, that actually might be my fault then because we released the book and then he becomes publicly tied to me and then gets canceled. That makes sense. That makes sense. That sucks. All right, bro, you got any final questions I can answer for you before I've got to let you go?
Uh, have you ever had backing effect with a ritual that went wrong?
You know, I've had several rituals where I thought they had gone wrong at the time. Like, for instance, I was calling on Ozzy Dahaka, but I was trying to call on him externally and evoke him when really he needed to be invoked. I needed to become Ozzy Dahaka, not to call him. And so I'm calling him, and he came up, and I could feel his presence like pushing, overwhelming me. I could feel him overwhelming me. And so I commanded him just like I would any demon or spirit. I'm just like, I command you in my name, blah, blah. And he just laughed at me and he says, you're nobody to command me. And I was like, whoa, that's the first time that's ever happened. Is just he just straight up said no. And so I got really scared. I didn't know how to handle the situation. I didn't know there were no exorcisms that could work against him. But it's not like he was being hostile. It's just he was refusing to obey me, and he was showing me he didn't have to obey me
I
because I
can
wasn't.
remember the video.
Yeah, yeah, that
Yeah,
was dude, that was a really cool video with I've got
yeah,
the torches and everything and
that was
everything.
an awesome video. And I
Yeah,
was
I need.
afraid for you because I said, "Wow, I wouldn't like to be in this situation in the whole night."
I was scared to leave the circle. I was scared to leave the circle after we were done with the ritual and everything. And I had a guy there that was my assistant with the camera, and he's like, okay, and he doesn't really believe in magic, but he even got scared from that ritual. And he's like, are we going to be okay? I'm like, I don't know, maybe not. But here's the thing. every ritual that seems to go wrong, at the end of the day, after it's all over, I realize it's exactly what it was supposed to be. That I learned what I needed to learn. I got what I needed to got. Even with rituals, with if I cast a spell, it's the funniest thing. If I cast a spell and it doesn't seem to work, I'll give up on it. I'll be like, oh, that spell just was a dud. I guess that's not going to work. As soon as I give up on it, it works in some mysterious way. It always comes about in some mysterious way, but right after I gave up on it. And so it's like magic always has this fun way of it's not just magic is not just something, a tool we can use to make things happen. It's a living thing that's like it's not only teaching us, but it's playing games with us. It's playing fun little games with us to get us interested in following it where it goes. So yeah. But all right, I gotta bounce out of here. Thank you for chatting with me, dude. Last little plug for everybody. Go to becomealivinggod.com/social magic to sign up for the pre-release of the Social Magic Spellbook. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. You have a good one.
Thanks, brother.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.